everybody. Welcome to Just a Point of View, a podcast with me, Denise Reed. I am so excited to have you today because we're going to explore passion. What's your passion? What makes you excited to be able to wake up in the morning and rush out to do something that makes your heart sing, that gets your adrenaline pumping, that you go, oh my gosh, if I could just do this today, I would be an extremely happy person. So today is all about passion as we explore. Always, I'm so high tech here today. The 52 Lists for Happiness by Moorea Seal. It was a gift journal from my niece, and I will be forever grateful because I have taken it seriously to explore my happiness, and I love to make lists. In fact, I love bullet journaling and a whole bunch of other things. But anyway, today is list 14, and how ironic that as we explore list 14 and we talk about things that I'm passionate about and that bring me joy, a trip to New York could make me a very happy woman, just saying. Even for all the crazy, it's one of the US's most amazing cities in our country, and I just love New York. There are other places in the world that I love as well, and short stints in New York are not a bad thing, just saying. So I wore my New York scarf today because it had a little orange in it for Tennessee, and then it matched my shirt, just saying. And we're going to explore one of America's most famous pop artists who just happens to, or had, a studio, I guess you would call it, called, well, I don't want to give that away yet in case you haven't read the show notes. So we're going to be exploring, what are you passionate about? I am passionate about art, all things art. If you can create it, I'm all about exploring it. And I just love the tactile experience of art. If it's pottery, if it's painting, if it's screen printing, if it's sewing, if it's macrame, if it's watercolor, if it's just creating stuff. I just love the act of creating. It's kind of a meditation, for lack of a better way to describe it. And I think that's why I love the art of art. And I love whenever I travel to go to local museums and see what other artists have created, and then ask the question, why? Why do they create in this medium? Because artists use all kinds of things to create amazing stuff. I mean, just look around the background of in my office here. There's all kinds of stuff that people have created, books and photographs and prints and trophies that I've been awarded for various and sundry different things. So just think about all the things around you that would not be here if someone did not create it. So an artist had, or an engineer had to be behind the making of a whole bunch of stuff that we experience, wear on our beings, see in our homes, in our offices, in our places of work if you don't work in an office. An artist of some form or engineer of some form had to create it. And so I started thinking about things that I'm passionate about, like going to see beautiful art in art museums, or at least interesting art. It's not beautiful, to spark your curiosity about how it was created and why they use those materials to create that object. And how much people are willing to pay for some crap. Anyway, I'm not just saying that all art is beautiful and wonderful, because not all of it is, but some people somewhere think that that thing could bring them joy and they like it. So, hey, to each his own, and may everyone find a creative something that sparks their passion in their life. Also, one of my passion projects is a podcast, Just a Point of View. I love sitting down to share my ideas with you. I hope you enjoy hearing about them. And I hope that you take a minute to go, I wonder if that would make me happy, or why doesn't this make me happy? And if you're asking, why doesn't this make you happy? It might be time to change a few things in your life, because if you're miserable, it's not always a pleasant experience to be around you if you're miserable, and you might want to change that. It's a choice, so consider doing that. And I decided that I was going to get out here and create this podcast for happiness, because I wanted to be happy and I wanted to experience more of the things that make me happy. So writing makes me happy, speaking makes me happy, and sharing things that make me happy makes me happy. So there we go. We've got the triple threat of happiness. I also love caring for and bringing joy to others in my life, including family members and especially my clients here at the concierge office suite. I hate to see sourpusses wandering through my lobby. And in a former lifetime, I was a cashier, and I cannot tell you how many thousands of people are miserable in this world. And I hope that I can be a positive influence and change that for a few people, and at least help you explore some opportunity for happiness in your own life. So Moorea Seal's list 14 is list everything that you feel passionate about. And I hope that if you don't get her journal, the 52 lists for happiness, that you take a piece of paper and scratch out a few things that you're passionate about, just to remind yourself and to go explore those passionate things. If you're not doing them every day, maybe do it every once in a while, just depending upon what you're passionate about. And I thought I would share an interesting sidebar story for one of America's famous pop artists. And I'm going to test out a new view here in StreamYard that I haven't shared in my podcast before. So here goes. Wish me luck. It worked good on my test before we started recording. So let's see if it works well. And it's just me, myself, and me recording and sharing my content with you on my video cast and podcast. So here goes. Yay, StreamYard. All right. I get to share my screen. My artist that I'm sharing today is Andy Warhol. Hate him, like him, love him, could care less, and never heard of him. This is the dude. He was an amazing human on the planet and knew how to create celebrity, and did it for several people in his gallery called The Factory. He's most known for, and let me get up here on the screen, for his famous screen printing exactly, of Marilyn Monroe. And here is his picture with Marilyn and his famous screen print. And he did this for several artists and everyday objects, which I thought was interesting, is he made the everyday, which is part of my happiness journal, to make your everyday happy. And Andy did that for himself, or at least was curious about it. He was very famous for his pop art creations and his gallery called The Factory in New York. He was also famous for his Campbell's soup cans, and I don't think they're pictured here with Marilyn. I would have to click off the screen, which is like more than I want to do right now. But anyway, I just thought it would be fun for you to see what Andy Warhol, as a famous pop artist, was famous for, and actually share him as an artist and some of his art. And I'm sure you're asking, well, why was he famous? And it had a lot to do with the volume of creative pieces that he churned out and all the ways that he churned out his pop art and created a movement of pop art. He is considered one of the most important American artists for the second half of the 20th century. And Wikipedia says that his works explore the relationship between artistic expression, advertising, and the celebrity culture. Now, think about this. Andy Warhol was famous in the 1960s. This was before social media, videography as we're experiencing it now, streamed across the internet to the world, was barely thought of in Andy Warhol's time. But he created and manufactured megastars during his time, and definitely shifted how we think about art. And I think his Campbell's soup cans were a perfect example of how graphic artists, specifically in my experience, is what I went to school for, and my background is print media and design. And so I have an affinity for what Andy Warhol was able to do with his screen printing. And he has a whole museum in New York, if you're curious about it. If you've considered graphic arts and design, you might want to explore some of his works. So I thought it would be fun to explore all things Andy Warhol today and look at where he came from and the impact that he made. He made the common person a celebrity, and it says on Wikipedia that he directed and produced several underground films for different types of personalities, distinguished intellectuals, drag queens, playwrights, and the bohemian street people. He made the common everyday elevated, which I hope that I'm doing on my podcast is I'm helping you think about elevating your everyday and bringing happiness to a whole new experience by exploring these 52 lists and all the variations of happiness that you can incorporate in your life. So I hope that you have enjoyed and are ready for your mental passion safari, that you will go out and explore some things that you're passionate about, that make a difference to you and maybe the people that you care about. Perhaps you could explore your passion with someone else. And maybe if you get the chance to take a minute and go out here and explore Andy Warhol and his passion for Marilyn Monroe and other celebrities that he highlighted in his The Factory in New York, and maybe even go and visit his gallery in New York. That could be a really fun time, and go how did this get to be so elevated? I don't know about you, but I love to bite off some little snippets of things that I'm passionate about and share them with others. And I hope that you'll share this podcast. I hope that you'll like and subscribe to it and that it'll bring some joy. And you look forward to a few excerpts from my podcast in shorts here in YouTube, and I'm broadcasting on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. You can catch me in video there, and I'm also sharing the Audible version, which you can't see the Andy Warhol art in a podcast, but you can at least hear about his Campbell soup can art and his Marilyn Monroe prints, and hope you'll go and explore those and ask, how can you make your everyday more elevated, and follow your passions to do that. And thanks for listening in, and glad you tuned in for Just a Point of View, and hope you're enjoying your coffee break. And I would love it if you could share a cup of coffee with me. See the notes below or above, wherever they end up, and click the link to support my podcast, and hopefully we'll get it out more ways and we can delve some more happiness projects and share some passion. Anyway, enjoy your passion safari, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.